Hi, this is Michelle Sam from Sammy Wong's Kitchen. Today I am going to be showing you how to make a basic vinaigrette. If you know the proportions of a really tasty vinaigrette, then you can go into anybody's kitchen and whip up a delicious tasting vinaigrette. I initially learned this recipe when I was in high school. I had spent some time in France as an exchange student, and when my friends came over to the States for summer, they whipped up this delicious salad with this dressing, and I thought, this is one for the memory bank. And over the years, I've incorporated some of these new tastes into my recipe and developed this delicious recipe, and it is something that you should keep in the back of your mind so that if you're ever in a situation where you need to whip up a quick vinaigrette, this is the recipe that should come to mind. So let's get started. For a vinaigrette, as the name implies, it's a vinaigre, which means vinegar. So anything that is acid-based is a vinaigrette. So the key components of a vinaigrette are the acid, and here I've showed you some things that we could use as the acid base. You can have citrus like a lemon or lime. Then you can also have vinegars. You can have a wine vinegar. You can have a apple cider vinegar. You can even have a rice wine vinegar. I would not recommend a white distilled vinegar because that taste is rather pungent to the tongue. In addition to the vinegar, we also need an oil, and I use extra virgin olive oil. Now, if you know anything about oil and water, it does not mix. So here I have a container of my recipe for this particular salad dressing, and you can see that the lemon juice and the oil are separated. So in order to emulsify them, and that means to bring the oil and the lemon juice to combine, you need an emulsifier. In our case, the emulsifier is going to be the Dijon mustard. And I highly recommend using Dijon mustard just because it tastes better. And then we need some spices. So for the spices, basically you need some salt and pepper, and then you can also have some herbs, and here these are optional. So I have some dried oregano, I also have fresh oregano, and I have some chives. But what's really important is to have a few cloves of garlic. You can either have 1 or 2 cloves of garlic depending on whether you are the garlic type person. In addition to the acid, I like to balance it out with a sweet. So in this case, I am going to use a preserve. For your sweet, you can do anything like a honey or a maple syrup or preserves or even jelly or jam. I've also used a grape juice concentrate, which is really delicious. I would not recommend a fruit juice because the sweetness is not that concentrated. So you'll end up having a very watery dressing, but something that's a little thicker, that would be ideal. So if you have a whisk, you can literally and figuratively whip up this recipe in no time. So let's talk about proportions in order to make this really simple for something so you can remember for the rest of your life. I'm going to give you these easy proportions. You need 1/4 cup of oil and 1/4 cup of your acid. So in my case, it's going to be lemon juice. In addition to that, I will also have 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and if you want to have extra herbs, this will be 1/4 teaspoon of your herbs. 1 teaspoon of your emulsifier or Dijon mustard, and 1 to 2 cloves of garlic. And that's it. Easy to remember, right? Okay, so let's get started in terms of showing you exactly how to get this mixture into a salad dressing. First, what I'm going to do is put all my solids in a measuring cup or a particular container in which I'm going to mix all the ingredients. So I'm going to mince my garlic, and I prefer to mince the garlic versus chopping the garlic because the pieces in the chopped garlic are just a little too large for the salad dressing. So here's my chopped garlic, 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a pinch of pepper, and 1 to 2 teaspoons of the sweetener. I'm going to start with 1 teaspoon first, then taste it to see whether I need to adjust. So here we have the mixture, and I'm going to stir this and mix this first. And now you can see that we have the oil and the lemon juice, which are 1/4 cups each, and you can see how it's separated here. I'm going to take my whisk and I'm going to keep stirring, and I'm slowly going to be pouring my oil and vinegar into my emulsifier here. And continue to mix it and make sure that it's all incorporated before you add more. So it's slowly being incorporated. And you can see that it's completely mixed and it's not separated. And then if you want to add some herbs, you can take some fresh oregano and just pull it from its stem. It's like this. And you can also take some chives if you'd like to add some chives. And I like using this special pair of scissors, so I'll just cut that right into my dressing. And this is the part that will clean out your pair of scissors. And up your oregano. And just give it a quick stir. And this is where you can taste to see whether you would like to add any additional sweetener. You might like it tart, or you might like it a little sweeter. Because I'm going to put this over salmon, for a salmon salad, I would like a little tart, so this is perfect. So this particular salad dressing can be made with the fresh herbs or just a plain vinaigrette without any herbs. And here you have your salad dressing that'll take no more than 3 minutes to make. Enjoy and bon appetit. More recipes can be found on sammywongsKitchen.com or social media. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks!